happening, guys? So on this video, we are going to bring you some camper jacks. We've got the camper jacks installed on the camper, on the truck camper, and we're gonna show you how that all went. So stay tuned. If you like it, hit that like button. If you'd like to subscribe to us, please do that and hit the bell notification so you're notified when we upload content. We are at One Moto next week, and that's gonna be super cool. I'll show you some behind the scenes at One Moto, so that'll be fun. And then after that, we're gonna put the Rough Country airbag system on the truck to hold the camper. So a couple more things coming up. We also already took our first trip in the camper, and that was super exciting. We made some good food, so we're gonna show you guys that next week. So stay tuned, hit that like button, thank you. This is my rudimentary dimensions for the camper jacks. And I was able to get on Fusion and put together these plates. They go pretty fast, so you just gotta put all the dimensions in and align all your holes. And then here we got the back one. This is the part that we're gonna weld in, and that's what it looks like when it's flat. That'll go to the CNC, and then we got the front one, and then I'm gonna weld a pipe to this one so that we have a way to insert the camper jack. And let's go cut it out. Piece right here will sit inside this piece, and I will weld that. And I made that a little bit too big, but that's okay. So what's gonna happen now is this plate is gonna go here, and then I will put threads into the camper for all those bolt holes. And then this piece is gonna go, I originally thought maybe I'd stick it out, but that looks dumb. So I'm gonna cut a hole in the side of the camper, and then I'm going to recess this. So that's gonna go into the camper. And then my jack stand will get a piece of pipe welded to this side of it, and it'll sit just like this, and that piece of pipe will slide in, and then I'll be able to jack it up. And I'll do that on all four corners. Well, we got the hole cut for the insert, but then when I went to drill the holes and got these plus nuts in, I realized I have the wrong tool. So we're gonna move on to welding a couple of these brackets I cut up while I wait for the new tool to show up. There we have it. So this will mount to the camper like so, and then the bar will slide in there. So, where's my bar? Here, come check this out. To make you taller. Boom, magically, you're taller. So, here's my camper mount. And this is the bar that I'm gonna use. Whoop. That is way too small. Did I buy the wrong size tube? I definitely bought the wrong tubing, so I'm gonna have to buy the right stuff, but until then, we're gonna move on and get the camper up in the air. Ooh, just barely. We got both of these lifts from Home Depot. We're renting them for the day. We're gonna work on getting it lifted, and I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse that. Well, we got this thing up in the air. right, so these things, they're a lifesaver, right? I mean, it's $100 for 4 hours, but it saves a ton of money and time putting up like winches or something in here. All right, so this is the plate that's gonna go on the back side. So we got one of these on each side, and then I'll weld a tube in here, and then that jack will slide in. So I'm gonna take this back off. I marked my holes after I got these two on. God, I hate drilling holes in this. One of those there. So indoor, outdoor silicone. Tap those in. So we can wipe the excess off. Because I didn't do that on this one, and this one's set now, and it looks really bad. All right, so we got all 4 of our plus nuts in, and also, I didn't know that plus nuts were like a thing. I knew that riv nuts were a thing, but we had a lot of issues. Every time I've done a riv nut, they kind of strip a little bit, so plus nuts, super cool. Highly recommend plus nuts. And then this plate will go on there just like that. So we thread this guy in there till this is tight, get it nice and flush, and then just working. Crank on it until the thing goes, and then get a little more, and then crank on it. Okay, and I will weld this here. My threads are just a hair off on this left side, but I knew that because I drilled them a little wonky. So, do the next one better. On the inside of this square tube is a little ridge, and that ridge will prevent the 1 3/4 tubing from sliding in because it'll be too tight. And so we're gonna grind that off. And this should slide right on. This is a nice tight fit, and so I won't have any slop. So this is 1 3/4 steel, and then this is a 2-inch piece of tubing, and I welded it to 3/16 plate. And basically, that goes in like that. So down here, this will get cut off, and this will get welded to my jack stand, and then this will slide into the camper. All right, so we got our 5/16 stainless steel bolts. Those will go in there. Get that thread started. So the only reason I went so big with this plate is because if you see on the inside, I've only got this piece of tubing and then this piece of tubing to bolt to. Otherwise I'm super far away, and I wanted it to be in the back corner, kind of out of the way. And so that was the best spot I could think of. And I just realized something. That's at an angle. So when I go to do this, it needs to also be at an angle. And that could be interesting. Well, good morning. It is day 2 of working on these camper jack mounts. You can't tell, I am sick. And so my eye is all itchy and like, ugh. Is what it is. But I got to get this done at some point, so I'm going to continue to work on it today. It's just going to be a little slow. I may or may not get it done. But what I decided last night is that I'm not okay with leaving this at an angle and having to weld my pipe on my jack at an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to tilt it up, re-weld it, grind it flush. It'll be a hair shorter, but it won't matter. That took me about, oh man, that took me probably 35, 40 minutes to do that one, to fix it. It took me about 40 minutes to fix it. I decided it was worth fixing, and it was. So, but on the next one, I know I won't have to fix it. I'll know how to do it. Okay, this thing's heavy. Slides right in there, like so. Just like that. Fully welded and ready to rock. So, we have one of the legs on. Super exciting. But I wanted to take a second and explain why I went with these jack stands versus real camper jack stands. Number one reason of why I went with these cheap Harbor Freight Haulmaster jacks is price. They're cheap, right? You get a lot of jack for your money. So, I don't know, I think they were $60 a piece, something like that. I think maybe. You get a 3,500 pound capacity jack, and that's 14,000 pounds overall for all four of them. We're not even going to come close to that, so I'm hoping the stability is really good. And then on top of that, it is, it shocked me. It shocked out of me. On top of that, it is a weld on version. So there's tons of metal in here. They're pretty heavy duty, and so you can weld right to them, and that's what I've done here. Second main reason is on the back of the camper here, I don't have enough corner and enough strength in this one spot to put a corner jack on. We'll have to weld a little extension onto all of them, and I'm hoping that that doesn't create too much play. All right, so I got all four of these guys on, and then I got my pipes cut. So now it's to weld the jacks onto the other three. I'm gonna call it a day because I'm out of 2-inch tubing to utilize. I've got a piece that the whole back is sitting on, but it's still not quite enough. So what's gonna happen is we've got this long piece of steel, and then we've got this guy, and we will undo that. This piece will slide down in there, pin this one. So we'll probably leave a pin on this one so I can take this up and down one spot. We'll weld this right here all the way around, weld that solid, we'll weld it at the bottom, and then if we crank and bring it up and down, it's gonna work. So that's all there is to it. Sweet. It is, it's standing on its own. It's a little wobbly, like it moves, but there's also a pin holding it, so there's a bunch of play in this, and then there's a bunch of play between each of them. Heck yes. I'm gonna get all these other jacks out of the way, and then we will get it on the truck here soon. So currently, I don't have a switch set up. I just have this up and down, and so, but works by just hitting the button. We'll get her tucked in. Ready for the nighttime. How cool is that thing? That is a sexy camper. I mean, only because I built it, right? But yes, sir. All right, so a few things. We will be sealing these caps up, as well as painting these black to match the camper. We'll be cleaning this thing up a little bit. I've got a couple like to-dos, like bolts and stuff that I need to fill. And so I'll be cleaning all that up. Thanks for checking it out. Watch the next video for this awesome adventure where we cook some food and enjoy the first night in the truck camper.